time for me to take 2 stings from the Portuguese Man O War. 2 sting sites, 2 different antidotes. Which one works the best? You're about to find out. Whew, man, I'm getting nervous. Terror of the ocean, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, man, that one nailed me. One of the things I almost see in every single comment section is, Mark, when are you going to take a sting like coyote? Well, truth be told, I do get stung by quite a few things on our adventures. But one of the things we have not featured yet that I'm stung by all the time is, of course, the jellyfish. I'm hearing a lot of bad information out there about how to treat a jellyfish sting and what the sting is actually doing. So when I decided that we were gonna make this video, I was like, what jellyfish should I get stung by? A little tiny one out on a reef? Oh no, I need to go big. We're talking the baddest, the terror of the ocean, the Portuguese. That one. Yes, that's exactly what we're looking for today. Now, when the wind blows a certain direction, the Portuguese Man O War will actually wash up on the beaches here in Florida, sometimes by the hundreds. Actually, I think I see one right up there. Oh, all right, here we go. Those are 2 pretty good looking Man O War right there. Woo! Careful guys, don't want to get hit by, woo, that is dangerous. If I get whipped by that, we're gonna get stung way sooner than I want to. So everyone knows this is the end for them. When they wash up on the beach here, they will unfortunately dry out, and that's kind of it, circle of life. So the fact that we're taking these 2 today for our experiment is totally a good use for their end of life. And boy, do they look beautiful. But sometimes with beauty comes pain, and this is a super painful jar. All right, let's head up out of the wind and take a closer look. I remember these tables, except all of the shoots before this one, I was on the other side of the camera. So yeah, this is a little bit different than I'm used to. In this bucket, we have a variety of different sting remedies. Some of them good, some of them not so good. And that's the reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place. Let's talk about the organism, the creature, the Portuguese. Are we gonna do that every time? The Portuguese Man O War. Although it looks like one, the Portuguese Man O War is not actually a jellyfish. It is a siphonophore. Unlike a jellyfish, which can survive on their own, siphonophores are a group of colonized organisms made up of cloned cells. Each group are responsible for specific tasks to keep the Man O War alive. Some cells form the float, which suspend the organism on the water's surface and create a sail to move with the wind. Others are responsible for hunting prey, and this is where we meet, the venom-filled nematocyst. These small but potent cells cover the Man O War's stinging tentacles by the thousands, and within each is a spiral-shaped barb which literally blasts out when making contact with its victim. When these barbs penetrate the skin, they release a cocktail of enzymes very similar to snake venom. These enzymes are designed to incapacitate prey, and in my case, will cause instantaneous pain. This animal is notorious for its sting. In fact, it stings thousands of people here in the state of Florida every single year. I luckily have never taken a sting until now. Time for me to take 2 stings from the Portuguese Man O War. In order to compare the effectiveness of the most famous remedies for being stung by a Man O War, today I'll be taking 2 stings, side by side on the same arm. One of them to be treated with urine, the controversial yet universally accepted cure to all marine creature stings, and on the other, I will spray white vinegar, the suggested first aid from a University of Hawaii research article. Then, while enduring the venom from both stings, I will attempt to describe which of these 2 remedies relieves my pain the best. 2 sting sites, 2 different antidotes. Which one works the best? You're about to find out. Please do not attempt to do what I'm doing here today. Oh gosh, I'm so nervous I can't even get a hold of it. Okay guys, I think I got it. You ready? Ready. Okay, here we go. About to take, oh God, that looks horrible. Whew, man, I'm getting nervous. Here we go. About to take 2 stings from the Portuguese Man O War. You guys get your shots ready because this is only gonna happen one time. Terror of the ocean, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Yep, it's getting me. Oh yeah, I can feel it. Ah, ooh, that's like electric. Yeah, that's one. Wow, it burns right away. Okay, second sting. I gotta do this fast before that gets too bad. Ready, guys, ready? All right, 1, 2, second sting, 3. Ah, yep. Oh, man, that one nailed me. Oh. Okay, yep. So, instant, almost tingly, electrical feeling sting. A lot different than a bee sting or a wasp. Oh man, those are really getting in there. I can feel it now. Now, likely there are still hundreds of nematocysts that are, oh yeah, they are erupting as I'm talking to you right now. I can feel them individually firing, like pow, 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 like a series of bullets going into my skin. Woo, yeah. Yeah, you can see it getting red on both sites now. Sting site 1 up here at the top, sting site 2 down here at the bottom. I can actually see remnants from the tentacles, and those likely have many nematocysts in them. And it is getting worse and worse with every second. Oh man, this is bad. You do not want to get stung by a Portuguese man o' war. If I were a fish right now, I'd be in big trouble. In fact, I would likely already be in complete paralysis, and this man o' war would be reeling me in for dinner. Okay, let the healing begin, as they say. All right, there is 2 steps to this. 1, spray on the agent. 2, use a plastic card, because you want to scrape off as many of those nematocysts that have yet to explode as you can. First site, vinegar. Here we go. Okay. Ooh yeah, smells like vinegar. Now the one I'm dreading. Gross. This is so disgusting. This is so nasty. All right, you guys are a little downwind, so you might want to prepare to duck and cover. All right, here we go. Oh man, I don't want to splash my face. Oh, it stinks. Oh, okay, that's enough. Scraping off those active nematocysts is certainly part of the equation, so you don't want to forget that step. I can actually see my skin pulsing. You guys can see my skin going up and down there. All the nerves in my arm right now are probably just screaming like, ah, intruder, we have venom. I feel so much better already. It feels like I'm on the road to healing. Man, it still burns though. So now it's just more of the burning. Okay, yeah, I think I'm ready to make a declaration of sorts at this point. Vinegar, not only more sanitary, but definitely wins the contest. This is by far the least of the 2 when it comes to pain. The urine site, not only is it absolutely disgusting, but it definitely burns a little worse. And I could definitely feel a distinction between the 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Vinegar is the definitive antidote that you want to use if you want to neutralize stinging cells on your skin. Urine, not your best friend when it comes to a jellyfish sting or a man o' war sting for that matter. And there is one last step that will truly alleviate the pain symptoms that I'm feeling in my arm. Good old-fashioned hot water. The reason hot water is the ultimate antidote to a man o' war sting is because the heat from the water will actually denature the proteins in the venom, rendering them inert, completely harmless. And then it's just up to my body and my immune system to do the cleanup work, and I'll be as good as new. Oh my gosh, guys, I've never had a hot compress feel so good. Like immediate relief. And I hope everybody watching not only enjoyed this little experiment, but learned something to take home with you. Don't use urine, use vinegar to treat jellyfish stings or man o' war stings. And at the end of the day, hot compress is going to be your real solution.
While I did experience slight discomfort for the next few hours, the scrape and heat treatment reduced my pain to that of a mild sunburn. And by the next day, nearly all signs of redness had vanished and I was as good as new. So next time you're on the beach and you see a man o' war, avoid it. But just in case you don't, some white vinegar and a hot compress seem to do the trick. So yeah, you should leave your pee in the toilet.
And if you want to learn more about what's going on here, we do have the article from the University of Hawaii in the description. There's more science, there's more facts in there we weren't able to cover this afternoon. But I do wish you the good fortune to never encounter a man o' war for yourself so you can avoid a sting like this. I'm Mark Vins, be brave. Stay away from man o' war. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, go ahead. Cue the music one more time. I think the best place to start is going to be up on this ledge. I saw some finger tide pools, and the finger is just like the long tide pool that I'm talking about. Corey, why don't you stay over here? I'm gonna move around this way. This is the exciting part. Time to get started. We don't want to mess up our fingers when we're flipping rocks out there, so always bring a good pair of gloves with you whenever you're tide pooling. Those are some really pretty sea urchins. Oh, got a little hermit crab there. Boom. Look at that. Hermit crab. Yes. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I've got a fish. Looks like a sculpin. Woo! Look at that. Yeah. Whoa. Oh. Very slick. Very slick. Okay. Let's lift up this rock. Oh! Look at that. All of those brittle stars. Wow. Okay, cool. These are great. Oh boy. Look at what I found. Sea star. Yeah. Man, look how cool that one is. Going in the bucket. That'll be perfect. Oh, and another hermit crab. Great. So this living rock has not only a whelk on it, but it also has a little sea anemone. Perfect. Okay, let's go put in our bucket. Well, we've got our bucket of stuff. Everything we came out here with. Just make our way back to the beach to build the aquarium. Okay, we've got our water for our new friends here. This tide pool day aquarium is going to be a lot of fun to build. And this is something that you can do even if you don't live near the ocean. You can do this with pond creatures, you can do this with creek creatures, you can even build a worm farm if you're not near any water like Mario and Coyote just did in Columbus, Ohio. Doing day aquariums or setting up small habitats like this is a great way to appreciate the smaller creatures that call our planet home before we release them back into the wild. And yes, that's right, that's why it's called a day aquarium, because everything that goes into this aquarium today is getting released before we leave. All right, let's get started. The first thing we want to do is to create the environment for our creatures. So I'm going to use just some sand, and we're going to hopefully let that settle. So now that we have all the sand in the bottom, we're going to introduce some of our living rocks. Very colorful and very natural looking to this tide pool aquarium. This one has a sea anemone on it, and when I put it in the water, it's actually going to bloom and look really cool. Oh look, you can already see it. There it is. Got a nice bloom on that sea anemone. Very cool. Glad we got that one. So we've got our rock set. I'm gonna add some plant life because how could we have a tide pool without plants? How's that look? Nice. These are no longer living creatures, but we have the skeleton of some sea urchins here. Now, certain types of sea urchins around the world are venomous, and if you're spined, it hurts really bad. But these purple sea urchins out here in California are fairly harmless, and their spines are fairly blunt. It's not going to prick me just handling it like this as long as I hold it carefully. Let's stay in the echinoderm family. These brittle stars are very, very similar to sea stars, except their appendages, as you can see, move a lot more. They're a lot more mobile than most sea stars. Look at them, they're like wriggling around like little octopus. We'll put these down in there and you'll see how quickly these brittle star find their way to cover. Next up, let's look at these cool sea stars. These are awesome, look at that. This is like the tank of echinoderms, Echinoderm City. We've got sea urchins, we've got 2 species of brittle star, and now we're adding these beautiful sea stars. So awesome. And Corey, reach out your hand. Touch that.
Oh.
They're pretty rough, right?
It's like sandpaper.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not as soft as they look. They're pretty rigid. These are 2 little hermit crabs. Look at this, this is pretty cool. This crab actually has eggs underneath its tail. This is a mama crab. Next up, I would love to add our fish of the day, the sculpin. Now these fish can actually be out of water. They can breathe air. See, look at it there, breathing air. This one's absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful greens and grays. It almost has a little bit of peach flecking on the face. Look at the eyes on that. So beautiful. All right, there it is. Our tide pool aquarium is finished. And I have to say, I'm really proud of this one. We caught a variety of species this morning and it looks really accurate to this environment. Now, I hope you all enjoyed this adventure making a tide pool aquarium today. If you want to check out the rest of our summer camp videos, there's a link in the description below and an entire playlist of ideas for your summer adventures. I'm Mark Vins. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, let's take a couple pictures and let all these creatures go. If you enjoyed this adventure and want to build your own tide pool aquarium, all you need is a clear container, a bucket, a dip net, and gloves. However, please be sure to respect the environment and check with local rules before exploring. We should never attempt to handle wildlife without supervision. Over the years, I have been no stranger to experimenting with stings from the world's most painful creatures. But after surviving a horrible stonefish sting in Australia, I thought the worst pain I could experience had been set. That is, until this video. The bark scorpion is the only scorpion in the United States that is known to possess a potentially life-threatening sting. Every year, hundreds of cases are treated in hospitals all throughout the Southwest. So as much as this video will be shocking to some, it's an important lesson on how to identify this dangerous scorpion if you ever find yourself in this terrifying situation. So the sun has completely set and you can see how much area I can cover with my blacklight. Now the reason I am using the beast, as we call it, as a tool for tonight's search is because, like almost every scorpion on the planet, the Arizona bark scorpion will glow green underneath the blacklight. Now this flat area, not a bad place to look for scorpions. You can find them here, but the best place to look, down in the wash, which is just ahead. Let's go this way. So this is a scorpion hole. No scorpion, but see how it's long ways? That's from the pinchers coming out this way. That's a big scorpion den right there. Got a scorpion right here. Scorpion. Can't tell what kind it is, but I definitely have one. See it right here? Right there. I'm going to carefully move around here. Oh, it's on to me. Got him. All right. Yep, it's gonna pinch me a little bit, and then before it calms down. Okay, look at that venom at the tip of the tail. Let go of me. I've got a good hold. Look at that. I mean, unmistakable, right? Like you are not gonna miss something glowing out here in the desert that color. But unfortunately, this is not the bark scorpion that we are looking for. This is actually a very small desert hairy scorpion, one that I have already been stung by. Oh, you're pinching me. One that I have already been stung by for the Brave Wilderness Bite Sting Index, but this is a good sign that there are scorpions on the move. Let's put this little desert hairy back down where we found it and keep searching. Bye, buddy. Got a scorpion. Oh. Don't spook it, don't spook it, don't spook it. Got it. Oh my goodness. Bark scorpion. Bark scorpion. Look at that. This is the most dangerous scorpion in all of North America, and one that has actually been responsible for human deaths. Okay, get it in the jar. Relax. Woo! Okay. I cannot believe we found it. We were about to give up and head home for the night. Sure enough, this is the scorpion that I will now go up against to show you what it's like to get stung by one of the most feared arachnids in the world, the bark scorpion of the United States. Let's go set up the sting table. Here we go. That is the real deal, the bark scorpion. When it comes to scorpions that could be potentially dangerous and even life-threatening, the bark scorpion is the only scorpion that lives in the United States that's considered potentially deadly. And if you're wondering if I'm nervous, I am terrified. this sting pushes the limit. I hope I can make it through this one, guys. This one could be bad. I'm gonna take the scorpion out of the container so I could show you some of the key identifiers to know if you're looking at the Arizona bark scorpion or not. Okay, here we go. There's three main things you want to look for. See how the claws are very elongated. They're not powerful. They do not hurt. They can't really pinch you like a giant desert hairy scorpion could. Ah, yeah. These claws are very delicate, and they just use their claws for eating. They're not using those claws to capture their prey. What they are using, though, is their extraordinarily potent venom. If you look at the tip of the tail, the telson is what it's called. At the base of the stinger, the bark scorpion has a tooth. See that little notch? I can barely see it with my own eyes, but it's there. And that's how I was able to confirm this is a bark scorpion. No tooth, no bark. The third and most practical way to know that you're dealing with the bark scorpion is just by observing how you found it in the first place. Here we go, watch this. See that? Ran right underneath this piece of wood, hanging upside down. And these scorpions like to hide like this, guys, out of sight, inverted, underneath objects. So you can see here easily why people often get stung by bark scorpions. You're doing yard work, you pick up a piece of wood or a rock, you don't see the scorpion, you accidentally grab it, bam, you're stung. And what's worse than that, you often don't even see what stung you, but you sure can feel it. Now, it's time for the moment that I have been dreading for over 15 years, ever since I started coming to the Sonoran Desert. Quick PSA, I feel obligated to tell you, like I always tell you, but this one, guys, I'm very serious. Never attempt to recreate what you are about to see. All right, guys. Here we go. I hope I'm going to be okay and that this is just very painful in terms of an experience, but there's a chance that this might be the one, this could be the one that sends me to the hospital. Like we always do for the Bite Sting Index, I'm going to rate the sting of this scorpion on 3 different factors: intimidation, pain, and aftermath. I am intimidated, very much so. The pain, I believe, is going to be very severe, and for aftermath, this could be a high score. My heart is beating out of my chest. I absolutely feel fear right now. This is for real, I'm doing it. I'm Mark Vins, and I'm about to enter the sting zone with the Arizona bark scorpion. I am terrified. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow! Oh, that's painful. Oh, that's terrible. Oh! Whoa! Holy smokes! Oh! 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 Oh, you gotta put it away. I gotta put it back. Oh God, that's so bad. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. 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 Ah. Oh my gosh, guys, it's so bad. It's just my whole hand's numb. My whole hand is numb. Radiating heat. It's like, it's so painful. Oh my gosh, I have never felt instant pain like that. I thought it was gonna be bad, but I did not think it was gonna be this bad. Oh my gosh. Oh, more painful than stonefish, it's more painful than bullet ant. It's way more painful than the bullet ant. Oh.
Wow, we have a new king today.
Oh gosh, it really burns. It really burns to touch. It's so tender. So tender all through my finger. Oh gosh, and it hit me like I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that. I was not ready. I was not prepared for it to be this bad. Oh, it's getting worse. It feels like my whole hand's just like wanting to like curl up and seize. My whole finger is like almost like going paralyzed. That hurts. Oh, and it's swelling bad. Look at that. Look at my finger swelling up. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Never in my life have I felt a pain so shocking and so jarring. And what's crazier is the build of this sting was the first time I seriously thought about going to the hospital. In over 10 years of making videos on Brave Wilderness, I've never had to go or even thought about going. But this sting gets scary. For intimidation, this scorpion gets a huge score because it is well known for being the worst and most dangerous scorpion in North America. No other scorpion even comes close to being as feared as this one, and for that, it gets a 9.8 out of 10. For pain, I know I've had gnarlier looking stings before, like the bullet ant and the tarantula hawk that made my arm flare up right away, but this one was worse by far. It was like being struck by a lightning bolt of pain that made me jump up in the air and my whole hand shocked into numbness within a matter of seconds, leaving behind a pulsating pins and needles electrical fire in its wake. Simply put, it's a solid 10 of 10. For aftermath, this is where it got bad. The electrical pins and needles in my hand got worse, almost too painful to even touch. And then it started to spread. First up the top of my arm, then my whole arm up to my elbow went numb. And that radiating Charlie horse pain got worse and worse and worse. And as the pain started to creep past my elbow, I thought I was certainly going to need to go to the hospital. And I'll admit to you right now, I was terrified that I had finally pushed it too far. And I told myself, if it gets to my shoulder, we're going. But luckily for me, it stopped just short. And after about 12 hours of numbness, it retreated back to my elbow. And by the next morning, it was only radiating in my hand and wrist. All in all, it took 4 days to regain feeling in most of my hand, but my finger and thumb took a full week to recover. So I'm sure by now you've guessed it, the aftermath was also a 10 out of 10, giving the Arizona bark scorpion a total BSI score of a 9.9, which easily dethrones the bullet ant and making it the brand new king of sting.
In today's video, we are searching deep into the jungles of Borneo, on the other side of the planet, looking for some of the most prehistoric creatures that still are alive today. I'm talking about creepy crawly animals that could have lived right next to the dinosaurs. And if we're lucky enough, we might even come across the grail animal, the animal that I want to find the most, the Trilobite beetle. All right, you guys ready? Cool? Let's get into it. Come on. I'm gonna be looking for stumps, old rotten logs, flat rocks, things that we can flip that might conceal some of the creatures that we're trying to find. Let's make our way down here to this creek. Great. Nothing. Let's go over here. Oh. Really thought that when that started to move, that was gonna be a home run. All right, so we're making our way deeper into the rainforest here at Kinabalu. Ooh, big earthworm.
Whoa! That's a monster.
Yeah.
Hefty.
It is not squishy at all. It is really like super tough. Here, Andrew, feel the
Whoa!
It's getting slimy.
Whoa!
Isn't that crazy?
Super slimy. Oh no!
This worm just took up. Oh, look at this grub.
Ugh.
Even better. Check out that bad boy. Oh yeah.
Oh!
Oh gosh. Thanks, buddy. All right. I think we're done with this grub.
This was one gross log.
Yeah. Let's keep going. I know the Trilobite beetle is out here. We've just got to find it. If you're ever out flipping in any environment, whether it's rocks, logs, leaves, whatever it might be, Always be considerate and try to replace the environment just how you found it. Watch your step there, major roots. Oh my goodness. Guys, look at the size of that millipede. Hang on, let me see if I can get it. Now some of these can emit a really nasty odor, so I don't wanna spook it. Let me see if I can get it crawling on my hand. Look at the length of that millipede. Probably approaching 5 inches in length. And millipedes, of course, get their name because of all those legs. Millipede means 1,000 feet. Borneo is actually home to the longest millipede in the world. Now, I don't need to worry about this millipede biting me. The only thing you really need to worry about when it comes to millipedes are their toxicity. Some of them are poisonous, but they do feel really strange. Feeling all those little legs grip onto my fingers and crawl across. Andrew, stick your hand out real quick. I wanna show you what this is like. Let's put it on your finger. Don't worry, it won't bite. There you go. What's that like?
Whoa, that's crazy feeling.
They have amazing grip. And they use that grip to climb up and over logs and terrain out here in the rainforest. Well, that's a good start to our adventures here in Borneo. Let's go find something truly unique. Come on. All right. So far, so weird. We're finding all kinds of cool stuff. This environment is perfect for a trilobite beetle. They love tropical forests just like this, with tall tree canopies that allow very little light to reach the ground. No, nothing. No trilobite beetles yet. I really thought we'd see one by now. Covering a ton of ground. Probably hiked at least 4 miles already. Oh man, look at this snag. Oh, here we go. Another kind of millipede. This one's even cooler than the last one. What you're looking at is an armored millipede. They're called armored millipedes because you can see the segments of its body have these pronounced ridges, making it look like body armor. This is something that you could imagine seeing in the time of the dinosaurs. It looks like a living fossil. And here's something really cool about these armored millipedes. Let me show you. If there's ever a situation where this millipede feels threatened, look at what it'll do. It rolls itself into a tight little ball, and you can see how all those armored plates that are really rigid can protect the soft underbelly. Starting to must. Smell that. Actually doesn't smell that bad.
Whoa, it smells sweet.
Right? Like cherries. I'm not kidding, guys. This millipede smells like those red cherries that come in the syrup. What are they? Maraschino?
Maraschino cherries.
Maraschino cherries.
That's exactly what it smells like.
I can't believe that. I expected it to smell like musty and foul, but it actually smells kind of good. If anybody knows, tell us in the comments why this millipede is putting off an odor that makes it smell like cherries. So weird, but so cool at the same time. All right, guys, well, I would say this adventure is heating up. Every creature we're finding is getting more and more bizarre. Let's put this armored millipede back and keep heading down trail. Sometimes when you're flipping, you forget to just look. So I try to always make a rule of like 3 flips, observe. Oh, wow. Got a bit of a break in the canopy here. A lot of light. Oh, look at that hole. Bet something lives in there. Whoa, look at this log snag. Oh! Guys, I got something right there. Here, can you throw this in my backpack real quick? I'm gonna need both hands. Put your cameras right there. We got a trilobite beetle. Hang on. Nobody move. Got it. Got it. Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. We got one. Huh. Yes! Dude! Trilobite beetle, baby! Woo! Oh man, I am pumped. If you guys are wondering, and if you can't tell, this never gets old. Finding a new creature for the first time, this is why I do what I do. This is what I love about making videos on Brave Wilderness, discovering creatures like the Trilobite beetle. Wow, I feel like a little kid again, guys. Okay, first of all, it is a beetle. I know it looks a lot like the millipedes that we found earlier on this adventure, but it is not a millipede. And it gets its name because it looks like a trilobite, which of course trilobites have been extinct for hundreds of millions of years, and we only know them by their fossil remains at this point.
Now, I've actually dug up trilobite fossils in Utah before that were over 500 million years old, and I have to say, those fossils really do look like the trilobite beetle that you see here today, especially those upper body segments.
This is nearly a living version of an animal that looks like something super prehistoric. Right away, first glance, you're thinking millipede. Then you see how it slinks its body along, and you're like, man, is that some kind of worm? Is that some kind of larva? It kind of looks like a helgramite like we've seen along the streams in North America, but it's definitely not. And then you go to the tip of the head there and you see that tiny little head with its beady little eyes and its two little antennas sticking out. Look at its abdomen, guys. It almost moves around like a little inchworm. It has like a little foot at the back of its tail and just beep, inches along. As it's crawling around, of course I feel the little tiny legs making contact with my skin, but I'm also getting this like wet sensation. And I've noticed, if I flip it upside down, that little foot. Yeah, that little pad right there, it's wet. I can feel it slinking across. And I don't know if it's like laying down a track of pheromone or what, but it's cold and it's moist and it's weird. It's very weird. And they're very rigid. It's got a cool feel. Andrew, you gotta try it.
Whoa.
See what you think.
Whoa, it's like she has a suit of armor on.
Totally, and it is armored. That is a defense mechanism because look at how slow she moves. This is not a fast creature, so it's gonna rely upon that armor to ward off predators. Also, the aposematic coloration. I'm gonna guess that this insect has a pretty foul taste. And what's even weirder than its appearance is how different it is from its male counterpart. Let's take a look at the male version of this trilobite beetle right here. What? Are you kidding me? And here's the thing, guys. Scientists were puzzled by this for over 200 years. When this creature was first discovered, they could not figure out what the male of the trilobite beetle looked like. In fact, it wasn't until the 1980s that a scientist actually followed around one trilobite beetle for days and days and days, and it saw them mate. That was the only way scientists were able to find out the male version of this species, because the female is just so unique. And not anything against the male version of this insect. Cool looking beetle, right? But nothing is gonna top the cool factor of this female trilobite beetle. And this is probably gonna go down as one of the strangest creatures I will ever get to present to you on Brave Wilderness, the trilobite beetle. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. I'm Mark Vins, be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, let's go. Whoop. Let's go put this beetle right back where we found it. Oh, wants to bite me. I'm actually going to get chomped. Ready? 1, 2, 3. He's biting me. Oh, he's got me good. He's latched. He's latched. He won't let go. Oh, he won't let go. Oh, got one. Oh yeah. Woo, yeah. This, believe it or not, is one of the most famous creatures ever featured on the Brave Wilderness channel. That's right, the original Bloodworm video now has over 73 million views. But in that original adventure, we did leave a few things on the table that are definitely worth revisiting. Namely, the venomous bite of this creature. Actually, did Coyote take a bite?
Ow!
Oh.
Yay!
Did it bite you?
He got me!
I got that!
He got me, I felt it. It was a little pinch.
Let me see. Where'd he get you?
Right there, right in the crux of my finger.
I think we could do better than just a pinch for one of the world's only venomous worms. In fact, we learned something very important about this creature between the last adventure and today that's going to help us achieve a bite on camera. But before I go getting myself chomped for this new bloodworm experiment, we need to find a whole lot more worms than just this one. Let's keep digging. Bloodworms hunt for prey in the tidal mudflats of both the Atlantic and Pacific coasts of the United States and Canada. They have also earned the nickname sludge worm, since their habitat consists of thick mud and quicksand that can easily swallow your boots whole. To find these slimy predators, worm diggers use special rakes to quickly peel back mud and reveal worms on the move that could be sold as prize fishing bait. And while they can be difficult to find, some of the best worm diggers in Maine can collect up to 1,000 worms a day, with the largest ones growing up to 15 inches long. After hours of digging and covered head to toe in mud and sweat, we filled a bucket and set the stage for one of the worst bites we've ever filmed. Welcome to the Bloodworm bite table. What I have in front of me here are 5 very large bloodworms. No, these are not your granddad's night crawlers, folks. These are natural born killers. Armed with 4 venomous fangs and an appetite to match, we have been told that these worms pack one heck of a bite. Some people say that it's like a bee sting, and locals have even told us that they've seen worm diggers crawling out of the mudflats in near tears from being bitten by these carnivorous worms. But there is one key piece of information that we learned from the original bloodworm video to today, and that is you can actually head a bloodworm. Similar to how a herpetologist would head a venomous snake to keep it from biting them, I will actually attempt to grab the proboscis once it shoots out and then intentionally inflict my first bite. And yes, I said first bite. There's gonna be more than one. Now what I'm going to try to do is head the proboscis, and while I'm attempting to do this, let's review some of the most interesting facts about this bizarre marine oddity. The bloodworm is a venomous segmented worm that hunts invertebrates and other marine creatures. Armed with 4 razor-sharp fangs and a projectile mouth called a proboscis, they are voracious predators and are as aggressive as they are bizarre. One of the most shocking things about these worms is how normal they can appear and then in a split second transform into one of the most alien-looking life forms you've ever seen. And as if this wasn't creepy enough, things get even worse. Once the bloodworm has its prey ensnared in those hooked jaws, it will inject it with a paralyzing venom that incapacitates the victim so it can be digested and eaten alive. This venom is chemically similar to that of a scorpion and is known to cause severe reactions in humans, including burning, tissue damage, and anaphylactic shock. Please do not attempt what you're about to see. Oh, almost got it. Ah, I missed it. Oh, come on. All right. I got it. Oh, wants to bite me. That is the proboscis of one of the biggest bloodworms I have ever seen. Holy moly. That's over a foot, for sure. Okay, time to get bitten by one of the only venomous worms on the planet, the bloodworm. Got a good hold on it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ah! God, he's on me. Oh, look at that. Ah, he won't let go. He won't let go. Oh, he's in. Oh, he's really on there, guys. I can't get him off. He's biting me. Oh, he's got me good. Yeah, he got me. Ah, man, it didn't break the skin. It was definitely latched into me, but its fangs I don't think are long enough to break the skin
of my finger. I wonder if I try on a softer part. Let's try my wrist. It's a little bit thinner there, a little bit softer. All right, here we go. Let's go in for the second bite on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Oh, yep. See him tug on the skin. Ah, he's latched. He's latched. Ah, yeah. Oh, I can't get him off. Yeah, he's got me. You see that? Ah, keep rolling, keep rolling. I'm gonna try to pry him off. He's really latched on. Come on, let go, let go. Ah, he won't let go. Oh, he won't let go. Gotta get him off. Ah. Oh. Oh yeah. That was a full-on bloodworm bite. Boy, that burns. Gosh, you get that shot?
Got
Those
it.
fangs were all the way latched in. Oh. Oh, that burns. Ooh, man, yes. You can see that there wasn't much blood produced from the bite, but I've got blisters forming, and that's likely due to all the inflammation and swelling. I feel it in the nervous system. My wrist is screaming right now. Super painful burning sensation, a lot like a wasp or a bee sting. Those fangs are like little talons, and it just grabbed right through the skin and did not want to let go. They were like barbs on a fishing hook. They were just in there. And really, I wasn't able to get the worm off until it decided to relax a little bit, and I pried it back. But those fangs are definitely sharp enough. Yikes, that hurt. Now that we've witnessed what a single bloodworm is capable of, let's see what happens when I submerge my hands in over 100 of them. Do bloodworms hunt in packs? We're about to find out. Before I attempt to feed my hands to these four-fanged terrors, let's take a look at what they did to some normal prey from the wild. While related and very similar looking to bloodworms, the sandworm is not nearly as formidable. And after a short time in a small aquarium, we can see they are also very much their food. The venomous bloodworms attacked and broke down the sandworms quickly, and what you're seeing now are signs of both chewing and dismemberment, a clear sign of active predation. If you thought one bloodworm bite was bad, check this out. Whoa! Look at all these worms. That is a container filled with over 100 bloodworms in this tank. And I'm going to attempt to submerge my hands into this tank of bloodworms for 2 minutes. All enough to figure out, do bloodworms hunt in packs? Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that feels so weird. Ah, I just took my first bite. Hit me on the pinky. It was a bite and release. Oh, I could feel them. Yeah, I could feel more proboscis going. It's like you could feel them tense up and then poof, it fires out. The anticipation is killing me. If you could see them wriggling, they have their little sensory tips, sensing their environment for anything that they can eat or get those jaws on. Oh, I could see a lot of them are shooting their proboscis out already. They sense something foreign in their environment. I gotta look away. This is like too much anxiety just looking at this container. This has gotta be the creepiest thing I have ever done in my entire life. Just so disgusting, feeling all those worms wriggling around my fingers. One thing that we noticed earlier is that as soon as one of them fires their proboscis, it seems to create a rapid fire effect. They all do it at the same time.
They're going crazy.
They are. Feel them wriggling around my fingers. Oh man, oh yeah. Got another one. Oh my goodness, so creepy. All right, how much time left?
30 seconds left.
All right, this has gotta be the longest 2 minutes of my life. 2 minutes feels like an eternity. The bloodworm bite tank. Oh, this is horrible. Give me a countdown.
5.
Got me again.
3.
That's 3.
2. 1.
definitely got nailed on the pinky on this side, and I got 2 nips between my fingers, here and here. Definitely got nipped 3 times. Wow, that was weird. What a crazy day on the Brave Wilderness channel. Well, I don't know if we can definitively say that bloodworms like to hunt in packs, but I'll tell you this. They sure don't mind sharing a meal, but man, that original bite, that was a serious, serious chomp from a bloodworm. It is absolutely swollen and very tender to the touch. I have a feeling I'm gonna be in pain for quite a while on that one. And I was absolutely correct. The bite of a bloodworm was no joke and ended up becoming one of the most painful experiences I've endured so far. Overnight, the swelling increased dramatically, and the burning around the bite spread through my hand and up my arm, nearly locking my wrist. Then, days after the initial pain subsided, I had a secondary reaction, where the bite zone flared up with an aggressive rash and itched at least twice as much as poison ivy. In all, it took 3 weeks to heal from the bloodworm venom, and I'm here to officially say the scary rumors of bloodworms are 100% true. So while these creatures are an important part of the intertidal ecosystem and a valued resource for fishing towns across Maine, you absolutely want to avoid their bite at all costs. Ouch! Exclamation point. I've got eyes on the wreckage. There's the crash site. All the metal is very sharp here. We found the wreckage of the C-54 headed to Area 51. What's going on, everybody? I'm Mark Vins, and this is about to be our most ambitious adventures with me yet. Tomorrow, we're gonna hike to the peak of that mountain behind us to find what's left of this aircraft. And get this, that airplane, it was headed to Area 51. All right, here we go. Mount Charleston Peak, 8.3 miles ahead of us. This is going to be one of the most extreme adventures we've ever done on Brave Wilderness. This crash site is just 50 feet from the summit. I hopefully find the remains of the flight that fatefully crashed that November day back in 1955. While the journey ahead would be an extreme feat of endurance, my mind was fixated on what we might find at the crash site, or if we would even find the wreckage at all. To get back down before dark, we wouldn't have much time at the summit, nor did we bring the gear required for an overnight expedition. Our awareness of this time crunch was great fuel to continue the march toward the top. However, what would we find when we got there? This was a plane headed to Area 51 after all. Were there secret documents left behind? Spy plane devices? Parts from an alien spacecraft? Literally anything was possible. But first, we had to get there. Look at that right there. That is snowpack left from the winter season. That's how high in elevation we're headed today. This altitude has snow almost half of the year, and as this is melting away, we're seeing the last bits of what's left. A little bit of a false summit here. Looks like we've reached the top of the first leg. Now we've got to cover some real distance in miles. Here's a sign. Let's see what it says. Griffith Peak Trail. Takes you to the top right there. You can see the summit. But we're headed to Charleston Peak, which is that way. Still a long way to go for us. It's not even the halfway point. Okay, we made it to checkpoint number 3. Up the switchbacks, over the saddle. Now this is the grassy knoll, and we're about to enter the burnt forest. And once we hit this tree line, I'll tell you why it got that name. Oh yeah, look at that. Definitely see the burnt forest embodied by this tree. It's absolutely charred on the inside. And in 2013, this entire
mountainside was leveled by a 28,000 acre wildfire. And this is the last checkpoint on our map before we make our way to the summit and Mount Charleston, the burnt forest. And it's a very ominous checkpoint, if I don't mind saying so. I mean, we're looking for a plane crash that was actually coming in. If you just point your camera over there, that's the valley, and beyond that's California. The flight was leaving from Burbank, California on its way to Area 51, got stuck in some bad weather. And because of the secrecy of this mission, the plane was actually flying underneath the radar, and unfortunately missed clearing the peak of Mount Charleston by 50 feet. The velocity that it impacted with scattered the aircraft all over the mountainside. So with any luck today, we will find the remnants of that infamous plane crash. Oh, there it is, the summit of Mount Charleston. I can actually see in the distance there's a flag marking the top, and there's a trail. Hang on a second, I see something up there. Where I'm gonna get out my binoculars. Oh yeah, 100% the crash site. I've got eyes on the wreckage. We did it. We found the wreckage of the C-54 headed to Area 51. I'd say we're probably half mile or less away. Let's go get it. Whoa, you rolling? First piece of aircraft. Yes, that is 100% a piece of an aircraft. I'm just shocked. I did not expect to see a piece of this plane that far away from the crash site that we saw from our binoculars. You can see that this is some kind of mechanical piece. There's a pipe. I don't know what part this is, but you can see that there's a serial number there. There used to be some kind of part number, but that's worn away. I mean, it is 65 years old, so you'd expect it to rode quite a bit. About a half a mile away from the crash site. It must have hit full speed. All right, let's keep moving. There it is. There's the crash site. Let's go. Okay, I got my energy back. We found the plane. That's the main wreckage site. Oh man, there it is. This must be part of the comms. The communication system would have wires like this. You can see them all. Almost looks like a spool of yarn. Okay, hopefully this will get us out of the wind. This altitude is making it really hard. It's cold, it's windy, and we're exhausted. A little less windy. Oh wow, that's a piece of an engine. That's a piece of an engine for sure. We found the main piece of wreckage, but I can tell you, just at a quick glance, there's debris scattered all over this mountain. You can see more of the fuselage down there. We might carefully try to go down there in a minute. But first, let's inspect what's right before us. And honestly, folks, I'm looking for anything recognizable. Like, I can tell that a piece like this is from the fuselage. It looks like the exterior of the plane. Yeah, there's some more axle looking. I mean, that to me looks like a landing gear. Let's go inspect that. Be careful. This stuff is really sharp and really trip hazardous. Yeah. So you can see the hydraulic here. And you can see this had a manual release. This is a lever. I'm not an expert. If there's any aeronautical experts watching this, tell us what this is. I believe this is a piece of the landing gear. Let's move down here. There's a huge piece of the fuselage in there. This is kind of a little bit dangerous. This mountainside is very crumbly, and all the metal is very sharp here, so I don't want to grab onto the wrong piece. I go home with a nasty cut. I definitely don't recommend anybody go off trail, but I'm experienced in hiking and taking the precautions necessary to do this. This is the biggest piece of the plane that's out here right now. At least the biggest piece that we found. I'm sure there are other pieces spread throughout this entire range, but any further down the hill, it gets super unsafe. In fact, I highly recommend if you ever come to the site, you don't come down this far, you stay on the trail. Let's tuck in right here so we can get out of the wind. I'll talk to you for a second to tell you a little bit more about what you're seeing. There's a few reasons why this aircraft is in the condition that it is. One is obvious, there was a crash. The second reason is about a year after the crash, the Air Force came up here and detonated this plane with dynamite, blew it up to smithereens. And that's because of the secret nature of the mission. They were headed to Area 51 to work on the project, none other than the U-2 spy plane used in the Cold War. Very, very famous aircraft, very critical for US intelligence in the Cold War. And they couldn't risk any of those parts being confiscated or getting into enemy hands. So they came up here and detonated what was left. And that's the real reason why you see so much of the rubble around us right now. Back in 1955, right after the crash, the fuselage, the rear of the plane, we'll show you a picture, was largely intact. Coming from Burbank, the airplane, as you can see, we're almost to the summit. The summit's right there. It almost made it. We're talking 50, at most 100 feet to clear the ridge. And it's very unfortunate because this is the tallest point in the whole area. So they nearly made it. And Area 51 at Groom Lake is just about an hour and a half north of here, drive-wise. So they were very close by plane. I'm overwhelmed right now with a lot of emotions. 14 lives were lost in this crash. And because of the secrecy of the mission, their families weren't even notified for 4 decades later. I can only imagine what they went through, not only losing their loved ones, but not knowing how and not knowing why. Definitely a lot of admiration for the work that they were doing, protecting the freedoms of the United States, keeping us safe. A very unfortunate circumstance that took place here back in 1955, and very interesting piece of history, an absolutely amazing adventure. I do ask, if you ever come up here to see this wreckage, that you leave it be, leave it intact. This is a historical site out of respect for those who were affected by the crash. Thank you all for joining us on this incredible expedition, piece of history, and probably the most intense Brave Wilderness video that I've ever been part of. All right, guys, in this video, we are searching the jungles of Thailand for one of the most bizarre insects on the planet, the acid-spraying violin beetle, in an effort to see if it's truly as dangerous as the local legends say. Let's get searching. Not only are they super unique looking, they are enormous, and they possess a very dangerous defense mechanism. The violin beetle has the power to secrete and spray acid, which can make you go blind. And we're going to catch one. We just started our search here, and we've already come across something really crazy looking. Check this out. Hold on tight if you have arachnophobia. That is a huge golden orb weaver. Wow, that is a giant one. Walk onto my hand. Oh boy.
Whoa!
Oh boy.
Watch out, Mark. He's on your back.
That's nerve-wracking. Where is he now?
He's on the back.
Right on your backpack. Right on the middle of your backpack. Yep. Gently.
Be careful. He's coming back up.
Yep. He's climbing back up now.
Okay. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Whoa! Look at the size of that spider, guys. Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Now, is he dangerous at all?
These spiders possess a really painful bite. Luckily for me though, it takes a lot to agitate them enough to get a chomp. So if I just handle it carefully, I'll be just fine. Wow, what a spider. Are you kidding me? Look at the size. This is the biggest golden orb weaver spider I've ever seen. Well, this is a really good sign that we're on the right track. Up next, hopefully we find that giant insect that we're after. Let's put this spider back, keep moving up the stream. Ugh. These violin beetles are really good at hiding. Prefers darkness, tight crevices near water. So we are in the perfect spot to start our search. Crevices of rocks, fallen trees, and in between sheets of fungus, actually. All right, hey, Andrew, I'm gonna try to flip this log, see what's underneath this.
Do you have a good feeling about this spot? Well, big ant nest, huge ant nest.
Where?
Up top, right by your hand. Watch out.
It got me. Oh, first sting in Thailand. Got nailed by these are some kind of fire ant. Yeah, they definitely sting. Look at that, jeez. Lit me up. All right, guys hear that? Oh, monkey. Guys, bring your cameras over here.
Oh, cool.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
The monkey is hanging out. You guys hear that? Monkeys in the background making an alarm call, so we do have to keep our wits about us.
Oh, cool.
This jungle is home to leopards, bears, and even on occasion a tiger. Water, like the stream, is rare
And during the dry season, it's drawing in some things that can be super hazardous to myself and the crew. We want to find big overhangs. These violin beetles are enormous. So they're gonna prefer much larger spaces than say like a little crevice like this rock here. Let's go into this tree. Not seeing enough fungus. Do you wanna see fungus, smell fungus? It should be damp. That is where these insects spend almost the majority of their lives, except for their larval stage, where they'll actually live in the water. Oh, right there. Look at that. Hey guys, I got a crab.
Crab?
Cool. These are little forest crabs out here. And I bet they can pinch pretty good. Yeah, they can pinch pretty good. Yep. Ow. Ow, gosh, it got me the worst spot. That's, come on, buddy. Let go of me, come on. Yes. All right, I'm gonna hold it just like this. Didn't draw any blood, but man, that pinched really good. These crabs are all up and down the stream bed. Kind of looks like a shore crab that you'd find in a tide pool. Not used to seeing crabs near a stream. There are a lot of them out here. Look at that. See all that purple underneath its legs? Let's put this crab back. See you, buddy. Finding more wildlife, this is a good sign. I feel like we're honing in on those violin beetles. See this fungus? This is exactly what we're looking for. These kind of logs with fungus growing on them are the perfect habitat for the violin beetle. This is exactly what they like.
See anything?
No. The rest of the team found something. We're on our way. Oh, wow. A red-tailed racer. Are you guys rolling? We're rolling. Okay. Looks like it's gonna stay put if I just... Oh. Turn back on. It's okay. They're non-venomous, but they are biting. Stay back. See if I can just get it out of this tree. Oh man. See him biting me? Can my snake look at? Got it. See if we can get him to calm down. All right. There we go. That was intense. Definitely turned around and struck him a few times. Luckily, this is a non-venomous species of snake. It looks almost like a green mamba in a way. So there's like a part of my brain that's like, don't get bit by the snake. See that? See it striking? Look how it's flattening out its neck. The more calm I am, the more calm the snake will be. Pretty rare to come across one of these racers because typically they're found much higher up in the canopies, hunting for anything that it could fit in its mouth. We're talking lizards, frogs, and even birds. I just had to take this opportunity to present this beautiful snake up close like this. We've got an audience of monkeys right overhead that are probably looking at me like I'm crazy. And all the things I've seen in Thailand so far, this is by far the coolest find. We're getting close. I can feel it. This is exactly the environment we need to search. See this underhang? I'm gonna get my flashlight out and I'm gonna get up under there. I have a feeling this is the perfect spot to find what we're looking for today.
You see something, Mark?
Oh my goodness. Guys, I got him.
You can see him?
Oh yeah, man, they are weird. Oh my goodness. There's about 8 of them. And
Did you say 8 of them?
there's about 8 of them. They're all hugged up underneath this stump or this log here. And I feel like if I can just get my jar on top of them, I'm gonna have a good chance at getting it into an area where we can film it. Okay, so I'm gonna use this. Wish me luck, guys. Here we go. That's not working.
Are they moving around in there?
Yeah, they're fast. They're really fast. This is gonna be a lot more challenging than I thought. Oh. You guys smell that? Smell that jar. That's the smell of the acid they spray. That is pungent. Okay, I'm gonna need to use my sunglasses. If I get sprayed in the eye, this is one of the real dangers of this animal is if you get it in your eyes, the locals down here say that you can go blind. So I'm just gonna wear these sunglasses.
just gonna have to grab one. Got one right here. Just wanna try to get the catch. Oh man, this is gonna be gnarly. Got one. Got him. Got it. Get in the jar. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. Woo! All right, we got it, guys. Woo, yeah. And it was already secreting that defense mechanism. All right, let's get into an area where we can get this violin bug in a little bit better light so you can see why this is one of the strangest insects in the entire world. All right, it's time to get a closer look at the violin beetle of Thailand. Luckily, there's more where this came from, but I want to try to be gentle. There we go. Look at that. Whoa. Are you kidding me? Have you ever in your life seen anything like that? I mean, you could clearly see why it gets its name, the violin beetle, shaped like a violin. And those wings on the sides of the body there are somewhat translucent, giving it this lacquer-like appearance. So I would say it's accurately described. Now, they do come in a couple different color varieties. This one is the toffee brown color. Trying to handle it with the utmost care. They have a very potent defense mechanism where they can actually secrete and even spray butyric acid. I can smell it. Oh, it's definitely all inside the jar. It almost reminds me of like smelling salts. It's very pungent, like makes your eyes water. You can imagine if you were sprayed with a mouthful or an eyeful of that, you'd immediately turn the other direction and run away. Now you may be asking yourself, looking at the size of this insect, Mark, is that as big as it grows? Actually, no, they can get up to double this size. Now, getting a closer look. Oh, whoa.
Now, do you know where they spray their acid from?
They secrete the acid from the abdomen. And my guess is from underneath. I'm actually gonna try to pin the beetle so we can see the underside and maybe we can see it spray. See that abdomen right there? So it likely secretes that butyric acid right from the back of the abdomen. Yep. And that, oof. Oh, it's got a huge waft of it, yeah. Ooh. But I also want to show you, look at this. Look at the center thorax of this beetle. It's got like serrated edges. It almost looks like a knife on both sides of it. It's super bizarre and menacing. That head and neck, elongated. It's like a giraffe almost. Kind of looks like a giant assassin bug meets a cockroach, meets a mantis. This is truly the territory of bizarre insects. Easily the most unique looking insect that I've ever held. Welcome to Thailand, am I right? Now you can see it has very long antennae. It's gonna be using those as sensories to navigate through the environment, and you can see how flat it is. Look at how flat its body is. It's specifically designed to fit between bark and bracketed fungus. Between those two beady little eyes and those long horned antennae, there's a set of jaws in the center of the face. These violin beetles are great predators. It doesn't seem to be too dangerous, but you never can be too careful when you're dealing with exotic insects in uncharted territory. How about that? I would call that a very successful adventure out here in Kanckrachan National Park in Southwest Thailand, coming across what is, in my opinion, the most bizarre insect on the planet, the violin beetle. All right, let's put the beetle back under the log and head home.
Our search for the lost city of Manatees began at dawn, and the thick fog lifting off the water was the perfect backdrop as we ventured further into the realm of these mysterious creatures. Manatee have been tied to ocean folklore for centuries and are rumored to have been the source of many sea monster and mermaid sightings. As I paddled forward, I could hear strange breaths and tail slaps just out of sight. The light breaking through the mist danced across the water and played tricks on my eyes. And even I admit, my imagination created images of giant creatures lurking below.
All right, the sun is rising, the fog is subsiding. On this trip, we're we're going somewhere new. We're going right to the source of the spring water. And with any luck, the manatees will accept us and come in for their close-up.
As the moment to enter the water drew near, my heart was racing and my anticipation was off the charts. As with any aquatic adventure, the moment you plunge beneath the surface is the instant you realize you are now entering a completely different world. As my eyes adjusted and I began to slowly swim forward, I noticed a shadowy figure approaching from the left. My curiosity propelled me, but just when I thought I was getting closer, it vanished, like a ghost. Then I remembered, to swim with manatee you must be brave, be still, and wait patiently. So I froze and scanned for movement. And then they appeared. Seeing the first manatee of the day was thrilling. With all the news of their disappearance, I was nervous we might have come all this way without being welcomed back. If nothing else, manatee are highly intelligent, and just like their closest living relative, the elephant, it's said they never forget. One by one, they started to swim closer, and eventually began to encircle me, while slowly pushing our group beyond the murky channel. It was clear they wanted me to follow them through a narrow passage, so I cautiously navigated forward, not sure what to expect on the other side. There was a swift current we all swam against, but I was sure this is where they must have come from. The murky water eventually gave way to a crystal clear expanse, and it became obvious. This clear water spring wasn't just their home. This was a manatee paradise.
I want to thank Deal Dash for sponsoring this video. They help make this story possible, and without great partners like them, we wouldn't be able to update you on the current situation facing this species. Deal Dash is an online auction site that lets you compete for huge savings on brands you know and products you love. We're talking up to 99% off, guys. Okay, so let's give this a shot. There we go. Every adventure needs a new set of binos, am I right? So here's how it works. You buy a bid pack, you can get like 10, 50, 100, etc. bids. Each bid raises the price by 1 cent, and the auction clock restarts at 10 seconds every time someone else bids. And I'm gonna bid on these right now. Dang it! So I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go 150 bids on the bid buddy. Ready? 150. Book 'em. Fingers crossed. Oh, we won! We won! We got, yes! So that was awesome. Right now there's a good promotion going on. If you're a fan of Brave Wilderness, if you type in wilderness as the promo code, you get 100 free bids on the purchase of your first bid pack. So go check out Deal Dash, have some fun. Maybe you'll win something like we did today. And now it's time to get back in the water with the manatees.
The freshwater springs of Florida are a manatee's favorite sanctuary for a reason. The springs stay a warm 72 degrees year-round and serve as an oasis during winter months, as manatee lack the body fat of other marine mammals, making them susceptible to cold snaps. I know it's hard to believe, but trust me, they get chilled easily. Although manatee can grow up to 10 foot long and weigh 1,200 pounds, they are a fragile indicator species. They do not tolerate pollution or changing climate well at all. In just the last 2 years, it is sadly reported that we have lost 25% of all Florida manatee. As I swam further into the manatee's spring, they began to approach in great numbers. One by one, they would appear and then swim off again, almost to test and see if we were there for the right reasons. When you're in the water with them, there are ground rules, including respecting restricted areas, no feeding, and the biggest of all, which is no grabbing or chasing a manatee. You should always watch from a respectful distance. If they want to approach you, trust me, they will. Manatees are naturally curious and very gentle, but they are also enormous and not nearly as slow as they might seem. If they're around you, it's because they choose to be. If they want to leave, they can in the blink of an eye. Manatees are very social creatures, and when they want to make contact, it's abundantly clear they're choosing you. Almost like a friendly golden retriever, they will nudge you and extend their flipper to connect with their new human friend. This typically lasts for only a moment or two, then they're off again. However, what you're about to see is the most amazing manatee encounter I have ever experienced. Manatee have a unique language and can speak to each other, so it's easy to hear when they get excited. I don't know what this one was saying to the rest, but whatever it was, certainly had them more curious. So much so, I was essentially swarmed. Seeing this many manatee in one place was a rare and amazing sight. There must have been over 100 of them. Their eyes would follow mine, and their connection to me was clear. Every time one would leave, another would approach looking for the same attention. And it was easy to get lost in the awe of their playful behavior. After about 30 minutes, I had truly lost count of how many manatee had approached the camera. And compared to my previous experiences, I knew that this one was special. And sadly, perhaps the last time I would ever see so many in a single place. I could have stayed in the spring forever, but as light started to fade, it was time to make our way back to the kayaks. And for some of us, it was easier than others. We kayaked through what seemed like a desert, where seagrass once thrived, only to witness manatees struggling to feed on what little grass remained. Manatees need to eat up to 150 pounds of vegetation each day, and without thriving seagrass, we witness mothers and calves heading back out to the frigid sea to find more food, and that should not be happening this time of year. The loss of seagrass is a big factor to why so many manatee are dying, but there are also more established threats, including pollution and changing weather patterns. And then there are the boat strikes. These are the saddest of all, as many manatees each year are hit by boats, with many not surviving these machine encounters. It is truly heartbreaking to see pieces missing from their tails, and large scars covering their entire bodies. It's also a reminder that we need to do a better job to look out for these animals if we are to share their habitats for recreation. They are so special, and aside from our furry canine companions, the manatee are perhaps humans' best friend, at least when we're in the water.
Woo! Wow. It is never a bad day when you get to swim with the Florida manatee, but let's all do our part in preserving this experience for generations to come, and more importantly, their environment and source of food. If you want to learn more about what you can do from home, check the link in the description below, savethemanatee.org. That's where you want to go to learn more about the issues to help this majestic species. I'm Mark Vins. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.
As we journeyed home, the manatees saw us off. And I wondered if this might be my last encounter with these gentle giants. I hope we can all do our part to ensure the future of manatee. But if you have ever wanted to see one in the wild, I recommend you don't wait to catch a glimpse of one of the most endearing animals on the planet. There are less than 6,000 manatees left in the state of Florida, and they desperately need our help before they disappear forever.